Welcome back, it's me, Lou. I'm here for another action figure unboxing and review, and today from Hasbro, in their Marvel Legends line, we are featuring Rogue, the popular X-Men character. Okay, so this is a much more classic design for Rogue. I think it debuted maybe sometime post-Mutant Massacre, if you're a comic book fan. I remember seeing this costume like in stories like Fall of the Mutants and in Inferno. It was also the costume she wore during the X-Men's adventures in the Australian outback. So I know this is a figure a lot of fans have been wanting for a long time. And it looks great. It looks very true to form. So let's get started. First off, she does come with an additional pair of hands. These look like to be closed fists. Alright, so here are her extra hands. They're very small. Nothing new. I'm pretty sure we've seen these multiple times over and over again. And for the figure itself, really nicely sculpted face. It's kind of odd. I'm not sure if it's on my copy of the figure, but she almost looks like she has bags under her eye, which makes her look a little bit older than she should. I'm not sure if you catch it right there. It looks like she has wrinkles under her eyes on my figure. It could just be the sculpting, but it's still a pretty nice sculpt. The cheekbones are really well defined. Good paint application on the lips and the eyes. The eyeshadow looks a little bit messy on my figure. Yeah, see, it's a little bit... It looks a little bit off. Yeah, it's a little bit sloppy on mine. That's kind of unfortunate. But the hair sculpt is nice nonetheless. It features Rogue with the two colors, the white and the very light auburn brown. The color palette's very appropriate to the comic book, you know, with the green and the black. For me, I think the one thing that kind of bothers me a little with this costume, or at least with not the costume but this figure, is that it seems like they just took a bare female build and then just kind of painted it, which makes the most sense because it's probably the cheapest route for Hasbro to produce this figure. But there's a part of me that kind of feels like this should have been an original sculpt where, you know, her long sleeves or her long gloves are actually sculpted on, so you have actually like an actual like cuff of the sleeve up there that you can feel. Likewise with her top, it would be nice if it was actually a sculpted detail rather than just painted on, so it'd feel like there's some variation between the black jumpsuit and then the green bodysuit. Same with the boots. It would have been nice if it was a sculpted detail so they felt more like long boots rather than just like painted, you know, spandex. But I think this figure, you know, really fits the bill. I think it's what people want. You know, a lot of people want the classic version of Rogue. And she does not want to focus on my camera. Why is that? Just give me a moment. There we go. Yeah, so it's a really nice rendition of the character. The paint's a little sloppy right here, but that's alright. You know, this is a figure style we've handled many times over. Yeah, there's something wrong. She does not want to focus. There we go. In terms of her articulation, her head moves. Does she look down? She does look down, surprisingly. That's a lot. Does she look up? If she does, her hair kind of gets in the way, which is unfortunate because Rogue's a flyer. So it would have been nice if we could get more movement for her head to like arch back so she could get in the flying pose, but unfortunately we can't. Her arms, simple movement. There is no butterfly joint. There is a cut above the bicep to allow for a swivel. Pinless design on the double jointed elbows. It's very clean. Cut beneath the chest line, so allows for movement. And because of that, there is no cut at the waist, so there is no waist swivel. Any movement from going side to side, you're going to have to do it up here. Her legs kick up, they kick outward, about there. I kind of have this issue with some of the female figures, is that when they try to kick outward, the connection where the hip meets the upper leg, it looks kind of always kind of like broken. You know, it's not necessarily like a very smooth contour line. It kind of like breaks right there. Upper thigh cut, pinless design, very clean on the knees and very smooth moving. And same with articulated ankles. So overall, it's a fantastic figure. I have a couple of nitpicks about it, but you know, that's just me. If anything, the only thing that bothers me with my copy is that the quality control could have been a little bit better. Like I pointed out on mine, the eyeshadow and the eyebrows kind of off. For whatever reason, she has these bags under her eye, which adds like, you know, 10 years to her age. Especially this is a younger version of Rogue. You know, keep in mind that this Rogue was like prominent in I think like the mid 80s. And speaking of Rogue, here is another release of Rogue. So we're very fortunate. If you're an X-Men fan and a toy collector, we got two Rogue figures pretty close together. This is from the X-Men 97 wave. It was to coincide with the release of the X-Men 97 animated series on Disney+, but that was pushed back. This is a very classic design. I think this is the one most fans are more familiar with. You know, mostly from the Fox animation from back in the day. It's the Jim Lee inspired costume, but instead of the brown leathered coat, it's the green one. And this is a great figure. And here are the two side by side, so you can kind of see the differences. You know, depending on your age group or which version of the X-Men you were first introduced to, I could picture, you know, some people leaning more towards this one. If you're much like myself in my age group, and if you were a comic book fan during the 80s, you know, this one might strike a particular chord with you. But overall, it's a great action figure, and like I said, it's nice that we got two Rogue figures back to back, so close to each other. So yeah, excellent figures. And for a size comparison, here she is next to some other X-Men figures. We have the Darwin Marvel Legends. Just to give you an idea of the height. And then we have Vulcan over here. So yeah, it's a good time to be an X-Men fan. It's a good time to be into Marvel Legends. You know, we've been getting a lot of figures lately. Alright, so with that being said, let's wrap this one up. Once again, my name is Lou. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning viewer or subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. I greatly appreciate it. So until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I'll see you at the next one. Alright, later.